Hi, so I realised I hadn't put together a video on what I'm currently using for steering and force feedback setups on Project Cars 2 in a while. So this is for a T300, but we'll give you a rough guide for just about any other wheel you want to use, or at least a starting point. So I just want to run through what I've got set, why I've got it set, and what the options are. So first off, flavour wise, I tend to, with the T300, stick to raw. I have played around with the others and I can see some benefits to them, but for me I keep going back to raw and ending up with raw because I think it gives you the best options when it comes to a T300. You've then got gain, which is basically gain is kind of like the overall strength of the force feedback, and I find that around about 80 is a good setup on a T300. Any more than that and it tends to result in clipping, so I keep it at 80. And then the volume, as a default, I set to 40. Now, volume is very important because this is kind of like one that can vary a little bit between cars. You don't need to play around with it too much, but what I'd strongly recommend with volume is actually use the button mapping and set your L3 and R3 buttons, which are just under the wheel on the base on the T300, set those up to decrease and increase volume, and that way what you'll find is if you're in a car and you need to tweak the weight of the steering, because this is what volume controls a lot as well, you can tweak it up and down. The more you put it up, the more weight you're going to get from the steering, but the less road feel you're going to get. The lower you put it down, you get less weight from the steering, but you get more weight to it. So it's important to get this balance right, but I find that this combination of a gain of 80 and volume of 40 works for the vast majority of cars, and you don't need to tweak it that much, which is nice. Then tone and FX, these kind of play with each other again. So tone varies from its lowest level, you getting granularity and feel from the road surface, up to the highest level on tone where you're getting it all from tyre slip. So down at 25 we're getting more of a bias from the road surface than we are from tyre slip, but that tends to work quite well with a T300. I find you're still getting a good amount of feeling of what's going on at the tyres. You can still feel particularly the rear slipping out, but you can also feel it slipping to understeer with your front wheels, while still getting a good amount of road feel off the back of it. So I find that works quite well for myself. FX is then the overall strength of whatever tone you've got selected. Now I keep this down to 20 for the simple reason because I've biased this more towards track surface feel. If you have it set much higher than 20, what tends to start happening is over large curbs and rumble strips you get an awful lot of clipping off the back of that, and that starts causing problems. So I've again found 20 is a good balance between the two of these, and I find it works extremely well for me. The menu spring strength, that's the default 0.4, doesn't affect you driving in game, so you don't really need to worry about that at all. So these are my Project Cars 2 force feedback setups for a Thrustmaster T300. If you're using a T300 and you want to give these a go, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you're not, they may at least give you a good guide as to what the various options in here mean, and hopefully you'll still find it of use. But yeah, if you've got your own settings, please feel free to share them down below. If you find these ones useful, let me know in the comments down below, as I say. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you found this useful or interesting. If you have, please do give me a like, share the video, and if you want to see more content like this, subscribe away. Okay, thanks very much everyone. Bye.